Hi, this is Richard Peels with this week's Report from the Fields. The New York Times obituary for Paul Ehrlich, co author with his wife Anne of The Population Bomb, leads with his best selling 1968 book, which forecast global famines, made him a leader of the environmental movement. But he faced criticism when his predictions proved premature. Once again, the newspaper of record is wrong. Ehrlich was not premature. He was wrong on an epic scale. What Ehrlich said was really just a restatement of what Thomas Malthus argued way back in the 18th century, that while human population grows exponentially, the food supply grows arithmetically, ultimately leading to an increase in disease, misery, and famine unless population growth is limited. Since Malthus published an essay on the principles of population, world population has increased eightfold, and the average lifespan has doubled. Likewise, Ehrlich predicted in The Population Bomb that there would be widespread famines in the next 20 years. The facts: famines have decreased by a factor of 5 to 10 since the 1960s, depending on what time frame you choose. And most famines in the modern era have been caused by political misrule and war rather than the inability to grow food. See Maoist China's Great Leap Forward, forced communal farming in the USSR, communist rule in North Korea, and the war in Bangladesh, Biafra, Cambodia, Ethiopia, Uganda, Mozambique, Sudan, Somalia, and elsewhere. In 1980, economist Julian Simon made a bet with Ehrlich that the inflation-adjusted price of commodities in the next 10 years would fall. Simon won. Ehrlich's wife wrote the check settling the bet. Ehrlich should be an object of ridicule, not seen as premature. He just follows the tradition of doom-mongering exemplified by Malthus over 200 years ago. The tragedy is that fear sells more readily than optimism. Ehrlich paved the way for charlatans like Al Gore, Greta Thunberg, and many others in the environmental movement to amplify fears and ignore reality. Julian Simon went on to write The Ultimate Resource and The Ultimate Resource 2, in which he explains that human ingenuity overcomes material scarcity. Ehrlich founded Zero Population Growth. Ehrlich called for the movement to be voluntary. Other countries made the movement involuntary or mandatory. China's one-child policy is the most draconian example. Now, China has a demographic problem, an aging population, and a dearth of people of working age willing to support them. Didn't work out too well for China. The lesson for libertarians is that people, left free to choose ways to produce goods and services that others want to have, will always find ways to not only feed themselves, but to prosper and have increasingly good lives. It's fear-mongering politicians who seize upon crackpot theories like Ehrlich's who prevent that prosperity. I'm Richard Fields, and that's this week's Report from the Fields. See you again next week.